Every day, nothing seems to change. Everywhere I go, I
Oh,
keep
I
hearing
am
the
never
same
drinking
old
again.
thing.
Three mixed Hennessy drinks and a
I
single
can't
shot of
take it no
Hennessy. Like,
more.
why? Why? Oh, God, here we
Oh,
go.
I believe this time is alright.
Ugh.
I ain't got nowhere else to go now.
3 hours later. Okay.
Wake up
Okay.
in the
Let me try this again.
morning, more bad news tonight. Sometimes I feel like I wanna lose my
Okay.
mind.
Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Oh. Wait.
Try to make up my mind. Before I catch the next train tonight.
Child, when I tell you
Move
I have
on
slowed
down
down
the
on drinking.
line.
Actually, the last time I drank like that was that night. August 1st, 2021. I'll never forget. Sister Desiree's birthday. Ugh. 3 mixed drinks and, of course, a shot of Hennessy. Straight. Never again, child. Never again. But it was hot and it was what it wasn't. We had a great time. But from then and there, I decided no more drinking. Actually, 2 times ago, I made the decision. Well, what can I say? I mean, I drink alcohol like it's water. Just don't know when to stop. Next thing you know, I'm on the floor, throwing up my whole life and wondering, when can I hold down liquids and food again, child? But in a way, I'm grateful for it. It proves I can never become addicted to it. Weed, however, yeah. I thought I was addicted to it, but after 2 months without it, I was fine. Shout out to the USPS to that. Yeah, I was fine. Perfectly fine. And that was the end of that inquiry. But if you spend every waking minute thinking, searching, or taking in something in large quantities, depending on what it is, of course, and it becomes a derailment towards your life to the point where it's like, you can't pay your bills, you start missing work, you have behavioral changes, things like that, this, that, and the third, yeah, you may have a problem, aka an addiction. But it's not that simple nor easy to spot. Okay, most people they don't even know or notice they're addicted to something. Okay, and actually, you know what? With that said, let's talk about it. Addiction and everything about it. Now, addiction. It's interesting. Just like figuring out how it started, even defining it as a problem. Well, not a problem, it's just difficult. But we'll use 2 main definitions that I normally see in U.S. society, or pretty much in society in general. We'll start off with the main 2 definitions. Now, the first definition for addiction is a compulsive, chronic, physiological or psychological need for a habit-forming substance, behavior, or activity, having harmful physical, psychological, or social effects, and typically causing well-defined symptoms such as anxiety, irritability, tremors, or nausea upon withdrawal or abstinence. Breath. Now, this definition is usually associated with drugs and or alcohol. Now, the second definition for addiction is actually defined as a strong inclination to do, use, or indulge in something repeatedly. Now, this definition is associated with other things like being late, a certain food you eat constantly, or even, yes, a toxic relationship. Ladies, this is for y'all. Y'all are addicted to toxic men, to men who did not love you or give you the love as a child. Talk about daddy issues. Wait, that's for a later section down the line. Your journey is your own. Yes, episode 9. We're going to say that for later, child. Too much. Anyways, moving on. Now we're going to talk about the first definition first, since it is one of the more, I wouldn't say cliche instances you see addiction, but it's definitely more so prevalent. It's one of the more so prevalent examples. Now, the first definition refers to the use of drugs and alcohol. Whether it's brown or white, light or dark, cocaine versus crack, Molly versus Percocets. Yes, Percocets. Molly Percocets. We'll never know. Oh, and let's not forget shrooms, acid, and quote unquote tea, as the gays know it, to ecstasy poppers and quote unquote 420. Weed, hash, whatever you want to call it. Now, how does it start? Well, depending on your quote unquote drug of choice, it always begins with the first time for pain, or using it medically, or as prescribed to you by a doctor, or in the form of pleasure, recreationally, doing it socially by yourself, or, just on an everyday basis. But now, let me start off with this. It can usually be used for either that way or this way. But how soon the change slash shift from the one time to the everyday need, want, desire, and hunger for the quote unquote drug happens, yeah, that can differ all across the board for many reasons. Some people are hooked from the first time they get it, others they ease themselves into it with experimentation, either with dosage, other drugs, time lengths, etc., etc. And for some, they're just on the drug and they don't even know that they may be dependent slash have an addiction to it. And that last point is a lot more common than you think, okay? Majority of the time, you have to hit rock bottom before you can see what is going on when you're under the constant weather patterns that is addiction. Yes, it's like a storm, or pretty much it's like you're in a storm and you can't see the damage you're causing to you or everyone else around you. Sad. Now with the second definition, the same concepts apply. However, unlike a controlled substance, which is scarce and hard to find, believe me, good drugs are really hard to come by and they usually cost a lot more. The second definition, they can do with things a lot more accessible and are easier to find. And they also have different effects slash complications on your life. For example, with cocaine slash crack addiction, too much of either or pretty much, an overdose, that could, you can die from that. But you can't replace that drug with another one. It's just not going to give you the same feeling. However, with a food addiction, you might just get, a high blood pressure, which could lead to a heart attack, diabetes, and or stroke. But you can always cut back on the amount you take in, aka tapering off. That's the lovely term that people love to use when they're, trying to go on a diet. They're trying to, cut it out their system. They're trying to, ease off of it gradually. It's like, it's like recovery while still trying to be addicted to it. But that's another segment down the line. Anyways, or you can even find an alternative which gives you the same feeling but in a different, more or less life derailing or threatening way. Now, these instances lead me to the other aspect of this, which is, recovery. Now, recovery is the most difficult thing about addiction because it's not guaranteed, it's not forever, and it is in no way a cure. Okay? Now, addiction does and often can progress to a point where a person says, enough. I've had enough of this. I can't do it no more. It's time to end this. And then either they make plans to go to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, or a rehabilitation center for whichever other drug they got, where you sit in a group, either in a round circle or an audience member chair style, one by one in multiple rows, and you get up in front of some random people that you don't even know, like, or care for, and have to listen to some man over here telling you what's wrong with your life. Meanwhile, while you say pretty much, my name is this and I'm that, or you get counseling or go to a therapist and try to get to the root of the problem, either regular style or Aeon style, depending on depending on the extent to which it's kind of, derailed your life. Or you even go on national television to shows like Dr. Drew's Celebrity Rehab, which, we're not going to talk about that. Or more commonly and more often, and since it's a little more closer and cheaper, Dr. Phil, where he tells you in front of the world what is really going on with your ass, which, is odd, despite the both of them making crazy, wild, kind of politically charged statements about corona this and being homeless is a hoax that, and people don't die from, this, but we don't shut the country down. We're not going to talk about them too or give them too much highlights. We're not going to do that. Or you can have more classically an intervention where your loved ones gather in a room, read letters about how you've either changed before or after the addiction started, or how the addiction has changed you overall. And they eventually try to convince you to change or go seek treatment. Convince you to go seek treatment. But we'll talk about that a little bit. But now, recovery is tricky, not only because, of the often refusal aspect by the addicted person involved due to shame, embarrassment, straight up denial, and or heavily drugged up or withdrawn state of said person, breath, but because it is not a one-size-fits-all, this is the game changer for me. It doesn't always work that way, Addiction and recovery, they kind of go hand in hand in terms of why they work and why they don't work. Being addicted to something and recovering from addiction to something is a day-to-day thing. They both start off with making a decision to do something one day and seeing where it goes. Now, however, just like day-to-day, anything can happen. And just like how a crazy event like a blackout drunk night can cause someone to stop drinking for quote unquote good. A loss in job, significant other, natural disaster, or other quote unquote trigger that you're having in life can also cause a person to go right back to their vice, their comrade, their all around. It's so nice to feel you on me again. And and that I know good. And I want to give a big shout out to Phyllis Hyman, Amy Winehouse, and Whitney Houston. Yes. RIP to all of y'all. We will always love you. Immemorable. In remembrance to all you ladies. Yes. But yes, that return is more commonly referred to as a relapse, and it is often the end of the road, the final hurrah, the Thelma and Louise moment, if you will, in a person's life, where it's just, it just doesn't end well. The next time you see them is either underground, on the floor, dead, or pretty much at the wake, giving them the final kiss goodbye. The relapse is responsible for more deaths than I don't even know. That I don't know what. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Excuse me. Rest in peace, Rick James. But, child, in a nutshell, that's addiction. Okay? It ain't nothing to play with. At all. It really ain't. And if you are, or you know somebody that is struggling with addiction, go talk to them. Do something. Whether it's giving them information, giving them an intervention, or convicting them against their will. Well, probably not the last one, but if it's really that dire, try it. You never know. But if it's you who's addicted to something, here's what you need to know, okay? It can happen to anyone. You need to own it. Acknowledge it. That's the first step. Like every single 12 step that nobody really knows about. The first step is the most important one. You have to acknowledge it. You have to know what it is. And you have to call it what it is. Be truthful. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright? But if you want to change or you want out, do it. Just do it. Don't ask no questions. Just do it. But make sure you are the one doing it. And it's because it is what you want to do. Don't do it for your mother, your father, your sister, your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your co-workers, your family, or anybody else you kind of deem worthy to have in your space or your life or anywhere in your being, period. Don't do it for them, okay? Or pretty much anybody else who tries to quote unquote bother you about it. Okay, if it works for you, it works for you. Trust me, I've seen some of the greatest people on drugs the majority of their lives. If they haven't had a problem, they function, they manage to be better because of it. But if it's not working for you, girl, or boy, or man, or woman, whatever you happen to be, or child, or person, if it ain't working, do something about it. Okay? Just do something about it. You know? But make sure you're the one doing something about it. It's because it's what you want to do. Or, Amy Winehouse, baby, can you please take it away from me?